Hello everybody and welcome back. Welcome back. We're continuing our look at the 2005 Cayley competition. And I'll remind you, if you'd like a copy of this contest, click the first link in the description. You can get a copy to try for yourself. We're on question 15, starting with the 2 in the center. The number 2005 can be formed by moving from circle to circle, only if the two circles are touching. How many different paths can be followed to form 2005? As I recall, because I tend to do Pascal before Cayley and then Cayley before Fermat, we had a similar question on the Pascal, but it wasn't with circles, it was a grid. I think it was like question 24 or something like that. You're welcome to go back and try and find it. Pascal 2005. It's the same sort of technique I'll be using here. And it's a nice old technique where you sort of count the number of ways you can get to each one of these circles. Now with 2000, we're going to have to hit 2 zeros at the same time. So I'm gonna draw several copies of this picture. So we have our 2, and then it's basically every circle, all the zeros are touching 2 other zeros, that sort of thing. And then, let's make sure I get the 5s going right. It's a weird sort of hexagon thing going on. One, two, three, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So there's the 2 in the middle, and we need a 2. We need a 2, then 2 zeros. There's exactly one way to hit this 2. You have to start with this 2. Okay? But now, how about the zeros? So we have to branch away from the 2s to get to the 2 to get to the zeros. And there's zeros touching each on every single side of the 2, or every single part of the 2. Now each of these zeros here can only be gotten to in one way. If it's the second 0, there's only one way to make that the second 0. Start at the 2 and then go to that bubble or that circle. So now if we were to add up the number of ways to make 20, we would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now how about the 200, the 200? So we're at one of these zeros. We need to go to another 0. So we had one way to get to this 0, and then so he branches off and gives us 2 ways. There's one way to get to this 0 right here, coming from this 0 down here. Just the one way. But each 0 can be gotten to from 2 other zeros. So there's 2 ways to get to each 0 now. I'll redraw my picture here. So the 2 in the middle, but we don't care about him. We've gone past him. We're never going back to the 2. But how do we get to, say, this 0 right here? We could either come from this way or this way. Those are the only 2 ways to do it. And by symmetry, there's 2 ways to get to every single 2. Now, how about the 5? Because we're making 2005. Okay. 1, 2, 3. I'm restarting it. This is the hexagon thing. This is not easy to draw. I don't know what it is today. Okay, so we have the flower, and then extend it outward in each direction, and then fill in the gaps. Okay, fill in the gaps. So there's 2 different sorts of 5s. There's what I'm calling the blue 5s, which form a line going through the center with an opposite. And then there's sort of these orange 5s, which form the side of the bigger hexagon, the hexagon full of 5s. So now there were 2 ways to get to each of the last 0, because we made 200, now we need 2005. So we need to add on a 5. Well, how can we get to these orange side 5s? Well, there's 2 ways coming from this 0 and 2 ways coming from this 0, so it's a total of 4. How about, and so we get 4s in each one of these orange side 5s. How about coming into this blue circle here? Well, there's only one way. It's coming from this 0 on the side. So we get 2s everywhere there. And if we want the total number of ways, to make 2005, we just need to add up all the ways that we can hit a 5 at the end. So we 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 6 corner 5s plus 6 side 5s, each of them having 4 ways to get to it. So 6 times 6, we should have 36 different ways to make 2005. Hopefully 36 is one of the answers. And yeah, there it is. So we get A. So that's how many ways we get. Alternatively, you could probably try and write them all out, but it's going to get quite messy, and you're going to probably get a little confused as you go through it. But there it is, so 36A. And we'll move on to our next question, question 16, in the next video.